that dredges up scary reminders of a devastating outbreak decades ago. We're talking about polio. Well, now something similar is leaving children paralyzed. Nalina Shapiro has been following this for you. Nalina, this is not polio, but it does have some similarities.
Yeah, it's still unclear, Teresa, how these children in California got this. News 4's Dr. Peter Ostro tells me this isn't something that should make us think of the polio epidemic in the 1940s and 50s. He says this doesn't look like an epidemic and people should not be scared. Researchers say Sophia Jarvis is one of as many as 25 children in California who've developed a mysterious polio-like illness that paralyzes limbs.
It can affect one or more limbs, and the prognosis that we've seen so far is not good. Most of the children we've seen have not recovered use of their arm or leg.
Erie County says they haven't gotten any similar reports. News 4's Dr. Peter Ostro says parents should not panic. Dr. Ostro tells me polio typically attacked cells in the spinal cord, and when some other infection attacks the same cells, we see the same effect. That's why they're calling it a polio-like illness, but not polio. Polio crippled about 35,000 Americans each year in the 1940s and 50s, according to the Centers for Disease Control. It was caused by an infectious virus transmitted from one person to the other. A vaccine eradicated polio in the U.S. by 1979. In these latest mysterious cases, some of the children had symptoms of a cold that turned into paralysis, but experts say that's extremely rare. About 10 to 15 million people in the U.S. develop a non-polio enterovirus each year, but most do not get sick or just have a mild respiratory infection.
Even though it's acting like polio, where the paralysis develops suddenly over 48 hours, it's definitely not polio. In fact, all of the children who've been confirmed to have the illness were vaccinated against it and tested negative for it.
Just to reiterate, as you just heard, doctors say 5 of the children whose limbs were paralyzed had been vaccinated against the polio virus. Dr. Ostro says now he expects to hear about more similar cases in this country, but again, he says we should not think of this in any way as an epidemic. Reporting live, Nalina Shapiro, News 4 at noon.
Thanks very much, Nalina.